Good afternoon and welcome to the WAVY Digital Desk. Thanksgiving is almost here. Whether you're staying at home or traveling out of town, you can get something from this show, I promise. We're going to be talking about local hotspots for traffic, the hours to stay off the road, and more. So thank you for joining me here at the WAVY Digital Desk. I'm your host, Sarah Goode. Get ready for some tips and updates and advice from here and from others at WAVY on our team. You're going to be hearing from Meteorologist Steve Fundaro to Madison Pearman to Brett Hall. To get started, we're on WAVY.com right now. We're on Facebook. If you're on WAVY.com, maybe also have Facebook open to stay engaged in our conversation and our chat this afternoon. To get started, how many people are traveling this week? Well, the AAA are saying 55.4 million Americans are traveling this week, and most of those are going to be on the road. I've already put a question in the chat asking you how you're traveling this week. Let me know. Is that by plane, car? Are you staying home, or are you taking another mode of transportation? This year, there's more travelers than last year, and it's the third highest since 2000. Again, most will be on the road, so we're going to get some insight from Madison Pearman on the traffic situation this week. Right now, you're going to be seeing some different video throughout this chat. Please interact with us. Let us know how you are getting around this season. If you are joining from locally here in Hampton Roads or further away, please keep in touch. Let us know how you are getting around. With that, we're going to turn it over to Madison Pearman. She is going to be discussing everything about the spots to the hours that you should stay off the road. If you are just joining us, again, I'm going to reintroduce. We are doing a travel live stream today and find out more throughout the show. If you're tuning in on WAVY.com, again, Facebook has the whole chat, so please head over there and interact with us. And now I'm going to turn it over to Madison Pearman.
Madison Pearman here in the 10-Time Saver Traffic Center for the Digital Desk. Right now, we're getting a look here at some quick gas prices as you head out the door. Good news is we are in a much better spot than we were at this point last year. We were closer to about $3.43 last year around this time. Right now, though, we're sitting closer to about $3.13 on average. Remember, though, that you can find the cheapest gas near you using the WAVY gas tracker on WAVY.com. Additionally, keep in mind that the worst time to drive today is going to be any time between 11 and 6 in the evening. Before that's going to be the sweet spot, and then additionally after 6 tonight, not half bad, but we did have that wet weather overnight, so take it slow as these roads are probably still pretty slick. And then Sunday's actually not going to be as busy as we originally forecasted. That's thanks to a lot of people working remotely, working from home, not having to rush back into the office. But again, make sure to check the roads before you head out the door on any of your commutes. Watch the weather and use that gas tracker to get the cheapest gas near you. For now, that's the latest here in the 10-Time Saver Traffic Center for the Digital Desk. Madison Pearman, 10 on your side.
Thanks, Madison. And you heard it here from her, gas prices are low right now. So if you are traveling, take advantage of those lower gas prices while you can. Right now, I just looked at the tracker myself, and I can put that link in the live stream as well. But those lowest prices look to be about $2.79 in some areas. So head over there all week long, and you're going to make sure that you are finding the lowest in your area. Now I'm going to put that in the chat. So if you're on Facebook, grab the link, put in your zip code, and see where those low gas prices are. I'm putting the link in right now. Those areas to watch out for, and she gave us those times, but be careful about, those tunnels and bridges, heading out of those areas, around the shopping malls, as people make their last sort of ditch efforts to get what they need at the grocery store, if they're cooking Thanksgiving dinner or bringing something over to a Friendsgiving and all of that. We're going to stay tuned on the weather later in the show. As she mentioned, the roads can be slick even from that rain, even as that stops. So we're going to get the latest a little bit later on. Another thing to watch out for right now is actually going to be fires in some areas in Western Virginia and also in North Carolina. I I don't know if you've heard about them. They have been trending on our WAVY.com site this week. I'm going to pull up some footage now, actually, from the first one we're going to talk about is one affecting North Carolina. So here's an image that was taken of the fire. Now, this is in North Carolina, again, sort of on the border closer to Tennessee. The state transportation officials have warned of a massive wildfire around I-40. It's visibly burning, as you can see here on the mountainside. If you've driven in that area, it's between Tennessee and Asheville, sort of in the Pigeon River Gorge section. The latest update is from yesterday now. In the evening, it says it's not growing, but the North Carolina U.S. Forest Service is handling it now. Almost 2,000 acres. We're at about 42% containment, and 195 personnel are assigned as of yesterday. So stay updated through the Forest Service if you are driving in that area, and please be careful. Now I'm going to turn over to a different fire that actually is taking place here in Virginia. It is in more western Virginia, but I know that people drive out, to different families or friends throughout the holidays. So just want to keep you updated. So in Virginia, here, now you can see the footage up on the screen. This one is going to be the Matts Creek wildfire in Bedford County. So this is in more western Virginia. It's reached over 11,000 acres, and as of this morning is 57% contained, and that's according to officials. So if you're driving out that way, no crews are monitoring the fire. Communities can expect foggy conditions, but with good air quality. Here are some shots that were captured since it began. Also, for drivers, the Blue Ridge Parkway is now open, so that's good news. And the U.S. Forest Service says firefighters have cleared that fire weekend trees and other debris on and along the parkway. Now, and if you're here in Virginia, we've been experiencing pretty heavy rain. So that's, they're continuing to monitor that situation this morning with the fires. They're actually using drones to identify any remaining sources of heat across the wildfire today. And if you're traveling around the holiday, just be aware, be safe of all that's happening around these areas, and let me know in the chat if you've seen these fires, if you've been sort of in some of these areas, or if you are heading out that way. Now, I do want to get into some of what AAA is saying for the holidays. They've been keeping us updated on the amount of people that are traveling, tips and tricks for driving, areas to stay safe, times that they really want us to look out for. So with AAA, one of the big times to sort of, stay safe, but also have gatherings is going to be tonight, tomorrow, Friday. If people are continuing to enjoy their families around the weekend, please be safe while driving. They're urging drivers to be aware, stay safe, be careful about socializing and drinking and staying off the roads. Make sure that you have a mode of transportation or you are back inside your home. So just please be careful during this time. There's much more on WAVY.com, about what the AAA updates are. Now, another mode of transportation that we've covered this week is actually going to be trains. And I don't know if many of you are traveling by train. Yesterday, we actually got a look at the numbers of what's happening with Amtrak trains. We have some B-roll playing here, actually just from this week with local information. So what I'm going to start by saying is, have you taken a train? I'm going to put it in the chat. Please interact with that and tell us, have you taken a train? Where have you gone? Have you taken a train here in Hampton Roads? I don't know if people have taken it. Yesterday, I think, was really busy out there. You can see everyone getting ready here, lining up for those train rides out of town. So tell us in the chat. I just put it in there. Comment, tell me where you've been. Tell me if it was delayed. Tell me if it was on time. We want to know the information. Now, WAVY's Brett Hall saw some first-time Amtrak travelers yesterday. People were using the trains to get them places, he said, like Baltimore, New York, Boston, and Connecticut. That's just naming a few. Now, Amtrak is saying to avoid holiday traffic on the roads, and as I said, AAA numbers are really high on the roads, take a train to your holiday destination. So they're adding more service this week through Monday, November 27th to accommodate the surge in demand they're seeing, during the holiday season. So you can find more about the scheduling on WAVY.com and the added train schedule on WAVY.com, and I'm actually going to put that article up right now in the link, so you can just go straight there and take a look at the schedule that has been expanded for the holiday season. Now, moving into another travel, it's not quite as high as auto traffic this year, but is the second is planes. Now, I don't know if you're flying somewhere for the holiday season. If you are, I'm hoping that you have luck. I think last night they said that thousands were delayed, with that sort of map of flights and the weather sort of affecting the south and the east. So if you are taking a plane, hopefully you have had some good luck right now. The first thing I did want to talk about is what to pack, where to pack it. Are you packing it in your suitcase? Are you going to send it with you? Are you going to wait and get it on the other side, closer to your destination? Well, TSA did put out a handy little picture guide for us about what you can bring on the flights. And I think you might be surprised to know that you can actually bring ice packs. And I'm going to make this photo a little bigger, and it will move through 2 photos. So here we got the checked items. Those are the ones that are liquids, right? So make sure these things do not end up in your bag. You don't want to have to throw it away at the airport. So these things are, anything from condiments, cranberry sauce, preserves, jellies, maple syrup. All those beverages, they use a photo of wine, and they've moved on to carry on, but we're just going to wait 1 second and head back. So just take a look. Here's the checked again, pineapple chunks, maple syrup, cranberry sauce. They even have some sweet potatoes in a can here. All of that needs to be checked, shipped, or get it at your destination. Now, the other side of it is what can you actually just bring in your bag? That makes it easy, right? So they're showing a refrigerator bag right there. Carry on. We're talking apple pie, cornbread stuffing, any sort of extra dry things. They actually say you can bring cooked things too. So we're talking about meats actually, and uncooked. They say frozen, cooked, or uncooked. Stuffing, cooked or uncooked. We got casseroles, mac and cheese. Just make sure you're not bringing the liquids. If you're just bringing the ingredients, get the milk, get the butter, everything else that you need actually at your destination. Fresh vegetables are fine, fruit and spices and all of that. You can bring all of that with you. You do not want to be in the TSA lines worrying about what can go through the metal detectors and sort of their screening service there. So ice packs are permissible, as I said, but they have to be frozen solid. You cannot bring them through when they're melted, when you go through security. They need to be in their best shape, and then as they melt along the journey, that can happen, but just be aware, you don't want to be in this situation. Now, air traffic, weather Tuesday night, as I said, did affect some travelers, unfortunately. And so if you were traveling to get ahead of the holiday, your plans either were delayed or actually canceled last night. With that, they're saying that about 2,000 flights were delayed, and then others canceled, as I said, mostly the south and northeast. And we'll have more on the weather soon, so please keep watching. We're going to have meteorologist Steve Fundaro give you an update. Now, if you're flying, again, I'm going to put it in the chat. Where are you going on your flights for your holiday? So please let me know if you're flying. Tell us where you're going. And who you're going to see even. Just let me know how you're getting there. Okay, so now Brett Hall was at the airport today. He has the scoop. He's at the seeing the lines. He says they are busy. So we're going to throw it over to see what he has to say about the updates right from Norfolk today.
Norfolk International Airport already expecting to see its busiest year on record, and this Thanksgiving holiday certainly helping that number.
Just after 5 this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Please take a look at
a sight not often seen in the terminal building.
Because the line I've never seen the line that long.
For roughly half an hour, the queue for the Concourse B security checkpoint stretched all the way to the baggage claim skywalk.
And my son is always going back and forth to New York to see his dad, and this is the first time I've seen it this long, so I'm just so glad that we left when we did.
However, the line was gone nearly half an hour later. More than 15 flights departed Norfolk between 5 and 7 this morning, and according to an airport spokesperson, TSA processed close to 1,300 passengers in the first 2 hours of service today. The TSA says that is able to happen when people are prepared when they come to security with their IDs in hand and only the right items in their bags. And of course, it helps to have a positive attitude.
I love the holidays because everybody is just so friendly, everybody's so warm and nice. It's the best time of year, honestly.
I'm coming to visit my family. My son and his wife just had a baby, so I'm going to be seeing my new grandson in a few minutes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
For the first time?
For the first time.
That's truly what the holidays are all about. Number one piece of advice, make sure you're keeping tabs with your airline, because sometimes flights are delayed, but then that delay moves up some. You do not want to be left standing at the gate this holiday. At Norfolk International Airport, Brett Hall, 10 on your side.
Sure that you're packing your patients with.
Thanks so much, Brett. And, now that is a really good tip. And I know that people book their airlines through servicers. So make sure you're checking, did your gate change? Make sure you're checking, did your time move up? Did it change? Terminals, even at some of the bigger airports. So, just stay updated with that information. The other thing, with airports, as he said, and as you saw the lines, make sure you're getting to the airport sooner with all these travelers. Get there, get in line for checking your luggage, get in line for going through security, get there early in case you sort of have to rearrange some of your luggage if you brought in checked items that need to be, that are okay, but if you brought things through your carry-on, that you need to check, just get there early, be prepared. The other thing that we do want to check out too is how to stay healthy, really while everything is happening. So, we did look at some of those flu numbers that are happening across the states. And I'm actually going to pull up a map in a second on screen that the CDC releases some of those numbers weekly in a report so we can stay safe. But really, CDC says that, with millions traveling, how to stay healthy. They're talking about vaccines, making sure you have that flu vaccine, COVID, RSV if you're able, making sure you're staying safe, not just for your family and friends, but for yourself, for other travelers along the way, no matter what mode. We just talked to CHKD last week, and really it's those large spaces where people gather where, a lot of things can be spread. And so we're trying to monitor what's going on there. So I'm going to pull up the map actually from the CDC to give you a view sort of state by state. So if you're traveling, we can sort of see what the best places to go are. So if you just take a look here, we're going to look at the map. And the map of the CDC is going to show us a little bit about, where the areas and the hot spots are. I don't know if you're, concerned sort of with what's happening, but I'm just going to give you a look, and you might be surprised for some of those areas. Now here's the map from, it says released November 17th. So we're still waiting on those updates, but I'm just going to walk you through sort of what it says right here on the map. So here we go. In the south, you're looking at really very high to high activity levels of influenza. So let's be careful in those areas. If you need to wear a mask, that might be a good situation for you if you're a little bit more worried about the numbers. If you look over here, New Mexico, another area that's high, and even California is more in the moderate area. But you're seeing if you're flying out of the country, maybe to Puerto Rico, those are high flu activity levels. And then over here, District of Columbia, you're also seeing those high flu levels. Now, most of the northern states, it does seem to have, low to minimal flu, which is great. You're seeing more of that green and lighter yellow color on the screen here. So let's just look at Virginia. Right now we're at low, and that's great. So keep wearing those masks, keep watching hands, staying up with the latest on WAVY just to see, what you're seeing in your area. If you have not gotten that flu vaccine, speak with your doctor and medical professionals about that. Now, if you're flying down here, again, those big areas where people are coming together, just be careful. Those are going to be a little bit higher levels, at least as of November 17th, and we can get you the latest updated numbers once this is updated by the CDC. But I'm just going to leave this up here for a second. If you are going somewhere in particular, please let me know in the chat and we can hover over your state. Now, I know that what all will be impacted by travel, it's the weather. So in just a second, we're going to bring it over to Steve in the studio and get the latest on that. But please be careful again if you are traveling. Stay safe for those families, for maybe those cousins, those family members, those friends that you're interacting with. Now we are going to turn it over to Steve in the studio for an update on the latest if you are flying nationally.
Mess of a morning with all this rainfall. It's starting to move out, which is good. If you're driving north, it's looking a lot better than it did this morning. If you're driving south, you'll still have some showers to contend with through the afternoon and the evening. But once this system moves out, we're dealing with a whole lot of dry weather, quiet weather through the remainder of our Wednesday and Wednesday night. Looks great pretty much everywhere across the states. Now, moving into Thanksgiving, some snow is going to start to drift into the Rockies, and that could accumulate into some snow amounts that could cause some minor issues. But up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the major hubs, things looking fantastic with dry weather really taking over. A couple showers could be possible and redeveloping by Friday for Florida. But other than that, I'm not seeing any big issues, especially with air traffic. Once this system moves out here this evening, we got greens. Tomorrow, we got greens up and down the map from the morning through the evening. If there's any sort of air traffic delay today, it'd be from any sort of residual effects from last night and early this morning. But once this high pressure sets in here up and down I-95, we got a beautiful Thanksgiving forecast. Beautiful day expected tomorrow and Friday as well. 50s with a lot of sunshine. Get out and enjoy. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Steve Fundaro, 10 on your side.
Thanks, Steve. And you heard it here first. It's going to be a beautiful weekend for Thanksgiving. So, keep that in mind. Head outside. It's going to be a great time to be with friends and family. I don't know if you have a football game scheduled, a little pickup. I don't know if you're going to take a walk with your family, if you're lucky like us here at the beach along the water. But enjoy the outside temperatures wherever you are and be safe on the roads. And in your travels, wherever you're going, all of this information can be found on WAVY.com, and we will have updates for you both on WAVY TV 10 and WAVY.com throughout the week. So stay updated and make sure, as Brett noted, check in with your airlines, follow that advice, check on those gates, check on those times, check on those delays. And with Steve, again, he said there might be residual delays from last night that carried over into today. So just please double check where you're going and just be prepared when on the road. So again, everything's up on WAVY.com. We'll have links available for you on WAVY.com from the Amtrak services to those areas that you want to be careful for traffic and any updates. So thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon with me at the WAVY Digital Desk, and happy Thanksgiving.